How's it going, everyone? This is Eflex and welcome back to another A Producer's Approach video. In this video we're going to be looking at OBLYVN song Fly. So if you guys haven't watched my videos in the past, I basically break these videos down into 3 different parts. I have an intro backstory part, then a breakdown analysis section, and then after that I have an outro section just wrapping up my thoughts. So this is OBLYVN song Fly, part of the Dream Theory EP. I don't know why I couldn't remember that in my previous APA videos where I broke down the other Dream Theory EP songs, but you know, now I know it now, and this song is really good. The EP overall is really good. I actually recently purchased it since I liked the EP so much. There is one more song that was kind of the title song that I have to do an APA video for sometime in the future, or at least I hope to, but this song I wanted to do an APA video for because, as I said before, I do like live performance videos, and OBLYVN did the live performance video for this song on top of the actual release, but then she did like a music kind of video, which is a live performance. So it's like her song I Need You, but it's, you know, kind of more upscale since she had like an actual team, and she's on Monstercat now, so she can have like an actual team kind of come in and, you know, kind of record the video. But overall, the song's really good, kind of defines OBLYVN's style, and yeah, let's get into it. This is OBLYVN's song Fly. Alright, so right off the bat, you kind of hear this kind of 8-bit sound, which is really cool. Kind of starts off the song, kind of like a, I don't know if it's like a sound effect or an actual synth playing like kind of 8-bit crackling sound. And then she kind of comes in to play on the keyboard, and then it's kind of like muted plucks, almost in a sense. I don't know if they're filtered or whatnot, or just maybe the sound of the pluck isn't like fully open in terms of like its timbre, but they're kind of like muted plucks in a sense. And then the vocal chop slowly kind of comes in, and that sounds like that's filtered or just on a volume automation and slowly being introduced. So let's keep going. Alright, so that was kind of like the intro and kind of build up section. There was no really VFX riser to really build it up per se. In this section is really cool. The vocal chops kind of come in into kind of more like out of a filter, and the volume increases as she starts playing the lead sound, and then the kick kind of comes in along with like a low tone bass sound, kind of playing the bass line, and then you have the kick and the clap playing, but the kick and the clap are playing together on every beat, so you kind of hear them playing on every beat. And then you just hear that lead section, which is really good, kind of paired with that kind of bass sound. So it's really cool. And then it just transitioned quite like that into what's going to be the drop. So it's really nice not to hear a VFX and kind of see it live. So let's keep going. Alright, so there's a lot of different sounds in that section. There's the fluttering saw waves that kind of comes in. There's this water drop sound that like kind of comes in like in between some spaces. You have the vocal chop going ha 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 ho, so that's kind of like chopped up, but almost in a sense where it's kind of like a background pad, along with the fluttering kind of saw waves, and then her synth, kind of what you call like a synth lick, almost like, or kind of little like kind of rhythm or little like lead kind of to end certain phrases, dun 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 dun, which is cool. And then there's like different sounds. There's like a little like different bleeps in the background, and then that, you know, water drip sound that I hear almost at the end of the phrase, which is pretty cool. Yeah, overall it has the overall future bass kind of feel to it. And yeah, it's like a really good drop. Really good use of like different sounds, like the water drop sound. I don't think I really noticed until now, just focusing on that. But yeah, it's really cool seeing, you know, being played live like on a keyboard. So that's really cool. So let's keep going. All right, so that part of the drop was really cool. Had kind of not as much as a fluttering, I guess, kind of Sid's playing the chord progression. Had the vocal chops kind of playing in the background, and the synth that was being played on the bottom was pretty much tied to, I think, what she was playing on her keyboard. The percussion changed from the last part, because I think in the first part of the drop it was a little bit different. In terms of, I guess, the exaggeration of, I guess, how the percussion sounded. To me, it sounded a little bit different, but it could be just like the sounds changed and like the notation changed, even though the rhythm was pretty similar. But overall, that drop's really cool. I like the kind of change in the kind of fluttering of the bass kind of saw waves, and then, or the chord saw waves, and then this part was like more focused to me like on the vocal chops in the background. And there weren't lead licks that were thrown in there, but the kind of little lead licks in the first part were pretty cool. But this section, I think she's going to play more of a lead solo, so that's really cool. Let's get into that. All right, so that section there, she kind of played a lead section. There kind of was like an ARP kind of playing on the bottom with some chords. So the lead sounded kind of a little more muted in that section. It's not like as prominent and loud. And then that section kind of transitions into this section, which is pretty similar to the kind of that kind of intro, kind of muted, kind of plucks, kind of being played on the bottom, and then slowly going to transition into the next part of the break. So let's keep going. All right, so that was a pretty fast transition for me. She starts playing the bass sounds, and then there's some like kind of reverbed kind of vocal chops kind of in the background. There is percussion playing throughout pretty much this whole part. You kind of hear it kind of as like hi-hats, and then kind of when the bass sound kind of comes back in, kind of like in the intro break section, you kind of hear the kick kind of slowly kind of come in as well, a little more frequently. And then it just kind of switches into this kind of future bass. It just kind of transitions straight like that. I didn't hear any VFX or anything like the first kind of build into the drop. It just kind of caught me off guard. So that's really interesting and cool, because you don't hear that very often. Usually, like in electronic music songs or EDM songs, the build-up can be quite exaggerated, or they just kind of throw a VFX in. But this song is just kind of switched pretty fast, which is really cool. Nice to see something a little bit different. So let's keep going. All right, before we get into the synth solo towards the end of the song, this part of the drop was pretty similar to the first part of the first drop. Pretty similar in terms of structure, in terms of the sounds coming in and out. There is a water drop sound, and the kind of lead kind of synths kind of coming in. I guess the licks you would say. They're pretty similar in the way they're structured, but the rhythm itself is pretty similar. But in this part of the drop, the lead is more prominent, whereas like in the second part of the first drop, she was just kind of playing the chord progression of the synth notes that we're playing. This time she's playing a lead note that's really going to go on top of that. And I think there's some glitches and gaps of air kind of in that sense. So let's listen to this part and the outro, and we'll go from there. All right, that is OBLYVN song Fly. We'll go back a little bit to that section of the drop. That last part of the second drop, which is really good. It's a little bit different than I think the second part of the first drop. At least I didn't notice those kind of glitches as much, or those breaths of air as much in the second part of the first drop, but that lead solo synth right on top to end the song is such a nice addition. It's a nice variation. It's just something, that would be really cool if you were to see that live, and it just pairs so well with that section. I think the percussion and everything else was pretty similar to that second part of the first drop, just like the lead sound and maybe a little more gaps of air, or a little like the chord notes maybe not playing as much. It might be a little bit different, but for most of the part, like the structure is the same. And then it just kind of outroed similarly as the song started, kind of with the ARP after she kind of did the full keyboard kind of sweep down to end the kind of lead solo, which is a really nice effect that Haywire does. So overall, this is OBLYVN song Fly. Really good song, a little short, but it really is the defining feature of what her future bass could be. On this EP Dream Theory, I thought Enter Rem was my favorite song, which hopefully I will do a video for in the future. But I think Shift ended up being my favorite song on the whole EP, which is her style of glitch hop. But her take on future bass is really good. And I said in comment sections before, her and Temanite and Haywire are the only three that I know that really pull off the live performance videos really well. But her video here reminded me of Haywire's videos, and Haywire, at least to me, is the first artist to really do these live performance videos in such a way that Temanite and OBLYVN kind of followed him in his steps, which I can't complain. Like, they're really good videos, but Haywire was kind of the pioneer of all that. So the style of live performance video was very similar to Haywire's, but you could tell like the production of the video was a lot higher for her video here versus her song that I did, I Need You. So you could tell like the production is like a lot better in a sense. But the Dream Theory EP came up here, so I couldn't forget the name this time. But overall, I hope you like this live performance video. This is OBLYVN songs Fly. Listen to her other music, it's really good. And just some of the takeaways I like from the song is just the structure of the song. I like how there's no real like exaggerated transition into the drops. Like, it just flows pretty naturally, just kind of go one thing next to the next thing to the next thing. It just flows really well. The incorporation, the 8-bit sounds, the kind of the dreamy kind of feeling as well in this song. But the lead kind of sounds are like, the solo synth sounds are really good in the song, and that water drip sound was pretty cool I never really noticed that. That's kind of like a feature based thing where they kind of throw in these kind of unorthodox songs into kind of the drops, almost like Complextro in a sense, where they kind of throw in different sounds. Whereas, Complextro and dubstep, or electro and dubstep, where they kind of throw in more wubs. Future bass kind of throws in more kind of like water drip sounds, kind of more organic, kind of random samples, I guess you would say, kind of into the song to just kind of make it unique in a sense, and not a wub instead. So yeah, this is really good, really showcasing OBLYVYN's style. And I would say the artists I would want to see, live would be Haywire, Temonite, and OBLYVYN, because, they do these kind of live performance, and they have the kind of Roland or the Nord Stage 2 kind of keyboard out there, and they're playing like that. So you actually get like a live performance versus, I guess, a DJ, or someone like me, just having like a launch pad and like launching each song and beat matching. Like this takes way more skill, much more like an actual live performance for an artist. So anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you listen to more of OBLYVYN's music. If not, listen to the Dream Theory EP, and I hope to see you guys in the next APA video. Alright everyone, have a good one. Peace.